guys, welcome to this segment where I share from my heart and I hope the seed falls to your heart. So last week I talked about suicide and it was quite a bit of it for me, but I got through. And the irony of that is the week before I was very suicidal. So what I did is I went on my social media posts and I just decided to write I don't believe in God anymore. And here's why. I have received the most condescending and meanest comments from Christians. Yeah. And I was going through the time and the suggestions of maybe you're not praying enough, maybe you sinned in a certain way, maybe this is God's punishment to you. And I know I'm not alone. I know there are a lot of Christians on their journey to healing having to deal with all this. So the time since till today, I have had peace, like that peace that surpasses on understanding. And I really thought about it and I say to myself, I need to speak out about this. So the Christian community is a great community, but I feel like we are supposed to emulate Christ, love like him, speak like him, encourage people like he did. Do not find somebody really fighting or struggling with mental illness and you just say anything. One of the things someone has ever told me was, oh, you know that verse, whatever thoughts are good, and just think about that. And that broke me. It brought me to a place of I went through a relapse because I was questioning, like, why me? I try to think these thoughts. I read my Bible. I'm very intentional about my spaces. And these 2 weeks I've had the best time with God. And it's been a one-on-one with him. And he's been loving on me and comforting me and just being him. Last week I had to go through 3 days of medication because my symptoms had skyrocketed. And I was like, God, where am I even going to get the money to pay for this? Because next week I still have a review. I need to buy medication. Of course, I spent some money, and a friend came through with the other part of the bill, and like I was so grateful because you guys, I didn't have it all. And I went home and I thought to myself, oh my God, Rita, I love shoes, you guys. At the time I had 60 pairs. I thought to myself, Rita, you haven't even been able to enter a shop and buy yourself a pair of shoes that you really love. And I was so sad. And guess what happened today? A friend called and she was like, I'm sending 50,000 for you to just buy for yourself something nice. And I'm still shaken. My heart is full because I had review. I hadn't even bought my medication, and I was on zero. And you know when you're going through such stuff and people are speaking at you and people do not take the time to know what you're going through, or who just give statements like, oh, I'm praying for you, oh, you're just weak. It breaks somebody entirely. I have been hurt And I've had to go down on my knees and say, you know what, God, I forgive them. This is something my cousin told me at the end of the day to say when I sit down in my thoughts and I have all this pain. She told me to say, I forgive them for they know not what they do. But this is my plea. If you do not understand something, you have an option to keep quiet. You have an option to learn. You have an option to do research. Yes, you are trying to be encouraging, but do not let the devil use you to break somebody who is trying their best. And then for those fighting this illness and struggling, I know it's hard, I know it's tough, I know it takes a lot. I know most times we feel like burdens, like I feel like I'm a burden to my family because one, I couldn't keep up with my work, so I had to resign. So I've had to depend on them, and there are all these crazy bills. And I just, most times, I just feel like maybe these people are right, maybe God is punishing me because your whole world of foundation cannot fall apart at the right time. And then I went through a time where I sat and noticed, you know what, that's their opinion. Everybody's entitled to one opinion. It's I decide the weight I put on the opinion. I decide if today this well-meaning person's opinion is going to break me. I sit down and say, does this align with the God I trust? Does it align with the God I believe in? If not, then thank you so much for your opinion, but I'll leave it there. I will stay away, and I will ground myself in having more deep conversations with God, because His opinion of me is I'm loved, I'm whole, I'm cared for, I am healed. He took all my burdens and all my pain and nailed it to the cross. I am not who you think I am. I am not dramatic. If I am, then it's a glitch that I can use for my favor. I can use it to make TikToks to encourage people who are fighting. Yeah, so it's okay. This vlog is to tell those who are fighting, it's okay. Keep fighting. I get you. I love you. You're whole. You're beautiful. You're seen. Everything people say at you, even them not believing that you're ill, Jesus went through it. So it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. There are well-meaning people who care. I promise you this. I promise you this. They won't first wait for you to like hit rock bottom for them to come around and like be like, oh. When I was suicidal, I was like, 2 weeks ago, I was like, by the way, people rather fundraise for a coffin and burial expenses than sit down to be like, oh, let me check on this friend of mine. I know she's going through this and the bills are high. Oh, let me check on this other friend of mine. I know she's going through a tough time and she may need someone to listen to her. So the question is, when you sit down and introspect, what is your priority? Are you going to be the person who walks into someone's life and makes it better? Or are you going to be the person who walks into someone's life who is trying, and you just grab the wheelchair and tell them, you know what, I think crawling is better? Who are you going to be? It's your choice. It's a choice you have to make. Yeah. So before I end this, I would like to light a candle. I'm going to go home and light a candle for Arthur. Arthur lost his life to mental illness, and his family and friends, I want you to know he was a warrior. He fought. It may have been an invisible fight. It may have been something you didn't understand, but he did fight. Yeah, so I'll pray for you and light a candle for him. From me to you, I'm sending you love, light, and hugs.